Hey babes, welcome back to my channel. This is Maria, in case you guys forgot about me. I know my last upload was back in January and I am sorry about it, but also, you know what, like 2020 was a year we all kind of needed to take it in our own ways. We all reacted differently in our own ways, but I definitely have felt the inspiration to come back on here and start filming and editing for you guys. I actually have a new video coming up right after this one, so I'm very excited that I can start getting into the rhythm of things. And I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna be super good at it, but I have felt like that newfound passion for what I used to do. So hopefully those who still watch are excited. I'm not gonna lie, I was watching some of my older videos and I was getting inspired by them, and I really liked how I was like going for it with the whole makeup thing, even though I'm not the best at it. So I thought, you know what, let's do a get ready with me. Let me talk to you guys about what has happened this year, and just share some of like the awesome new products I'm using. So yeah, this is what it's gonna be, a get ready with me. We're gonna catch up. I literally want to talk about how I got coronavirus, to the fact that I got engaged. Like, so much good and bad has happened, but I'm learning to have like this different perspective on things. You already know I have to have my coffee. Surprised it's not Starbucks. Since I will be talking a lot, I'm just gonna place the products that I'm using listed down below and on the screen. But yeah, let's get started. So, 2020. How fun. I genuinely feel like I was really devastated. Obviously, everyone reacted almost the same when we found out we were like in a global pandemic. But I think for me, it was just, it hit me mentally a little harder than I thought it would. Just because 2019 was not my year. There's been so many lows that we've hit as a family, just in general for myself. And I was really, really hoping that 2020 would be like that very thing that kind of gives us hope, you know. I feel like in the very beginning it was so hard to just accept it because you just feel like completely robbed, and not to I don't want to be insensitive because I know this virus has like brought so much like pain to many people. It's even brought death to some, and you know, it just like, I feel like everyone is still kind of coping with like all the things that they've lost because of it. I think for me mentally it was like really hard, especially because I'm stuck at a job where like the people are awesome. I just like would prefer not to be doing that at that time. And I think once like I noticed that everything was shutting down, literally you guys, I applied to jobs prior and then they like they like never got back to me. So much has happened. As you guys saw, I also got into an accident. That whole thing like delayed everything, but it was just very upsetting for me. Literally everything I thought would happen in 2020 did not. So yeah, fast forward, back in August I did get coronavirus. Both me and my fiance now, we got it. We both are working as essential workers, so we literally don't know who caught it first. I have a feeling I did because I'm working with people's phones every day, and that's like the dirtiest thing that you can carry around with you. And it sucks because, you know, like I was doing everything that they were asking us to do. I honestly like didn't go out with anyone. I wasn't partying. All I did was go to work, go source for my shop, and then, you know, like go to the grocery store, and I still got it. I got it. I remember being so freaking scared, mainly because I have family who is asthmatic. I really didn't want to expose them to something like that, especially because there's many people who react differently. Some people are asymptomatic, others like have a couple of symptoms, and others just like experience the full-blown thing. So super scared. And then not to mention like my entire family lives in this like tiny home, so I was like, how am I gonna quarantine in here and not infect anyone? Like no. I literally tested myself. I think that this like the next day when I felt the first symptom, my first symptom was a body ache and I had a fever, but it did not last longer than 30 minutes. So that initially was like, I've never felt that. And I know that when you have a fever, your body's telling you that they're fighting something. So right away I let my management know, and I want to go get that test. Part of me was not going to go get tested because I was like, no, I don't have it. You know, I think that's the first thing that you do or you experience. It's like you're in denial. You're like, no, it can't be. Like, it's probably a cold, whatever it is. Well, I'm so glad that I was able to go get tested, because the day I got tested, I had a waterfall coming down my nose. And I feel like if I would have just prolonged the testing part of this entire experience, I could have contaminated more people. Thankfully, everyone was okay. Of course, my boyfriend and I both tested positive, and we were able to quarantine. I feel like we really bonded over that, because that was just such a scary experience, and like to have someone that's there for you, and literally you've gone through the worst in your life with them and they're still there loving you, you're just kind of like, wow. Thankfully, he did not have any bad symptoms. I was the one who had the most. I feel like everything was pretty similar to a cold and a flu. The only things that were very, very like scary for me was the tightness of breath. I would lay down. Oh my god, that just kind of like gave me a flashback. I would lay down and I felt like I had loads of books on my chest, and like there were certain positions I could not sleep in because I just felt like the world was coming like over me, if that makes any sense. I couldn't breathe right. Your mind just goes to the worst possible thing that can happen. And then I also lost my sense of smell and taste. That was so weird, you guys. If you've been with me for a long time, you know that I love pink drinks. They were able to send us a pink drink, and that tasted so disgusting to me. I honestly like was not craving anything from Starbucks. It tasted like soap. I've never tried soap, but it just had this like really nasty aftertaste, and I hated it. I really couldn't eat anything, and I think that's when it like really affected me mentally, just because like I just couldn't smell, I couldn't breathe. Like I legit would shower and I'm like, am I clean yet? Like, I don't know. You definitely feel set apart, but I feel like God used everything for good. I'm extremely grateful that even though I had it, it wasn't anything that like really was going to hurt me. I think what it did is just more of a mental thing. Like I remember the first or second day that I had it, it was so hot and I couldn't breathe. Like I couldn't smell anything. The fact that my candle that I smell every single day, I could not smell it. I couldn't even taste like my favorite food. That really like set something off in my brain, and I freaked out. And then the fact that it was hot air, I honestly, like, my brain tricked me into thinking that I couldn't breathe anymore, that I was not breathing, and I had a little mental breakdown in this tiny little room alone, and it was just more of an emotional wreck for me. I'm really grateful that I am okay, you know, that I didn't have to be submitted into like the ICU, just because I know that there's many people who don't run that same, I don't want to say luck, but they just don't go through that. And so yeah, I'm grateful because, you know, God really came through for me and my fiance. We came out fine. I remember the last day that I tested, when I got my negative test, I remember reading Psalms 91, and it was God like promising that no like plague would touch my home, like that he would save me, like I am his child. And that was just such a beautiful thing, and that was such a beautiful promise for me in that moment, that like I know he used it all for good. Like he really came through and he blessed me. I closed my shop for 2 weeks because it just didn't feel right. And then as a small business, you're like the only one really working every single day for your business. I didn't test negative until the 3rd week, but my little sister was able to come through for me, and it like all just worked out so beautifully. So grateful, like I'll never forget that. And it's not a coincidence that the month that literally like the enemy really tried to come for me like God blessed me. That was probably the month that I've like overachieved in any way. I've never had that amount of sales, and I knew it was all God because it could have not been me. But yeah, I love holding on to that because I know that He is a good father. And even though, like, you guys, like this year with me, my dad, like we've gotten hit by uninsured drivers like 3 times this year collectively. I know that even those things are happening, that God is like protecting us, and He's there, and He's gonna make things happen for us. So that was just like one of my reminders that God is good and He is for me. Let's fast forward now onto October. My fiance, well, my boyfriend at the time, proposed. A whole video on our couples channel on how it happened, in case you guys are curious. It was just honestly such a cute moment, and even though it's so imperfect, I really appreciate the way it happened because it's so us. But you guys, like, I would have never expected this during this like awful year. It honestly is like my highlight and his, and the fact that he knew, like, after quarantine, like he knew, like, I want to see her every single day in my life. Like, honestly gave me hope. I don't want to get sappy, but like, as I was explaining to you guys, 2019 for me was just not it. And I had really high expectations for 2020. Obviously those things didn't happen for anyone. Like, I love hearing testimonies of people getting like a dream job during 2020 and all. But for me, I'm still in the waiting season, and it's so frustrating. It's been so mentally challenging for me. That moment in my life, like, just gave me so much hope for my entire life. And how cool we can tell our kids, like, we really did that during that time. We still don't even know where to start. I think planning has just kind of been on standby for us. Our finances are not what we want them to be. Obviously the whole circumstance is not what we want it to be, so we're really like leaning into prayer, and we're believing for a miracle. We don't know how, when, or where, but we're really believing for that. We went to tour our first venue, and it was so beautiful, you guys. Like, I fell in love. I knew that's where I want my wedding. Everything about it is so beautiful. Like, it's 12 to 15 minutes away from my house. The courtyard is gorgeous. It has Spanish architecture, and like, it's spacious but very small, and that's kind of what we want, like, as an intimate wedding. So I fell in love, and I know that even though right now it's like way far from our reach, like, I know like one day God will do something and we'll be able to have our wedding there. Don't forget that, you guys. God is so good regardless of any situation. I'm also getting ready to celebrate my second, is it second or third? It's my second year as a business owner. I would say maybe 2 to 3 months ago I booked this place in Santa Barbara, and we're a little like scared because it looks like we're going back to another lockdown, but we really can't get our money back. So even if we could just like go quarantine elsewhere, like, it'll be really nice. But I'm so excited because we really need this little celebration. Obviously we're going to be super safe, and I'll try to vlog it for you guys. It is a different time, so we are trying to be as cautious as possible, but we're also not trying to let it steal our joy. And yeah, that's what we're doing. I am filming a lot more business videos, so please let me know if there's anything in particular that you're interested in seeing from me. I would definitely love to make it happen. But I think that is all, you guys. I honestly just love a good like natural glowy makeup. So that is it, you guys. I will be linking every single product that I'm using here below. Hopefully next time I can make it more about the makeup, but today I just really wanted to share what has been going on. Regardless of everything going on, I have hope that the best thing is literally yet to come. And yeah, let me know what kind of stuff you would love to watch next. Like I said, there are some videos coming soon, so I do appreciate you guys watching. And without further ado, I hope you guys have a beautiful and blessed day.